Topic 1. Geography is a perfect example of a multidisciplinary science that integrates knowledge from many sciences around it. It's given that in order to study and explain its object of study, physical geography deals with the studies of natural phenomena such as hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, storms, or tornadoes. It supports on the sciences such as orography, which is the study of land reliefs. For example, the mountains and their structure. Human geography studies societies and how the occupation of territory affects them and their environment. Biological geography. Its field of study is the flora and fauna distribution and their relationship with the environment in which they are present. Geographical phenomena are temporary processes occurring on the Earth's surface. On the other hand, geographical facts are permanent elements on the Earth's crust, such as seas, rivers, forests, mountains, cities, and the climate. Because what is called landscape. A natural landscape has not been altered by humans, such as soil, water, climate, flora, and fauna. The cultural landscape is the one modified in one way or another by human hand, such as population. It has to do with human population which is not distributed uniformly. Production. The objective is to transform those resources given by nature into satisfiers for all of us. Communication. Since the adaptation of human groups to the landscape, communication became necessary to exchange goods, people, and products, modifying in that way the natural landscape.
So, what we can conclude from this topic is that we need geography to be a multidisciplinary science due to the variety of its topics and the importance of each one.
Latitude, longitude, and altitude help us to differentiate the different imaginary zones on Earth, such as the Antarctic and Arctic Circle, the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer, and the last one is the equator. Those divide the Earth in different zones. Cartography. Cartography is a science used to create maps to geographically represent a place. It is a way to visualize the geographical phenomena and events that the Earth surface presents. Maps are plain representations that show an Earth's portion and address the general aspects of the area through symbols. These are based on the geographical math that start in the classic Greece.
Well. We can conclude from this topic that we need some way to represent the Earth and every space in it.
Topic 3. The Earth, a body of the solar system. There is a lot of stars like the moon and the falling stars. Since thousands of years ago, humans observed the sky and wondered what are the bodies that shine and move. The Greeks started to call them planets, that means wanderers, and they designed a 3065 calendar day. In the history, geographers, astronomers have studied the sky and its elements, and there is a lot of theories of how it was formed. One of them is the Big Bang. The solar system is known as the group of bodies, planets, satellites, asteroids that orbit around the sun. The parts of the sun are the core, relief, zone, convective zone, photosphere, chromosphere, and corona.
So, in summary of topic 3, we have that humans have tried to understand and explain everything that surrounds us, especially in space and its origin.
Topic 4. Earth structure. Since the old times, the humans tried to explain the natural disaster that wiped all the societies. Earth structure. Researching into layers of Earth is carried mainly through seismic waves. Tectonic plates. The tectonic is a branch of geology and it studies Earth phenomena. Alfred Wegener, a German geophysicist, formulated an hypothesis and he mentioned that all the continents were stuck together forming a continent called Pangaea.
So we as a species have always had this curiosity to know how certain phenomena or events occur, and why they occur. So we have found out that when tectonic plates hit together, they form earthquakes, and also they alter their form and position in Earth, forming different continents.
Topic 5. The atmosphere is composed of gases, mainly nitrogen and oxygen. Atmosphere physical properties: mobility, color, compressibility, expansibility, and diathermancy. The atmosphere has 5 atmospheric layers. There are troposphere is the most inferior and dense layer. Stratosphere, it is separated from the troposphere by a thin layer called the tropopause. Mesosphere is the layer that extends from a height of 50 to 80 kilometers approximately. Ionosphere or thermosphere, it extends from 80 to 600 kilometers above the surface. Exosphere, it extends from a height of 600 to an impressed height of 6,000 kilometers approximately. Weather has several elements, which are precipitation, temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind. There are factors that affect the atmospheric temperature climate, which are latitude, the temperature decreases as the latitude increases. Altitude, it affects the temperature because the air is dense in lower zones. Distance from the sea, places near the seas have a more stable temperature. Seasons, cloudiness, humidity. Then we have the climatic zones, the torrid zone, the temperate zones, and the polar zones.
So in this little topic, we learned about the properties of the atmosphere and each one of its layers, which them all have different properties which are really interesting, and how its properties interact with our climate and other stuff.
Topic 6. Water is the most abundant substance known on Earth's surface. The hydrosphere is considered also a layer of Earth's structure, which covers 70% of the entire planet's surface. Evaporation. It occurs due to the solar energy and basically water becomes gaseous. Condensation. It happens when water vapor in the atmosphere liquefies and forms clouds. Precipitation. It is the fall of liquid or solid water. Runoff. Most of the water will drain to form streams and feed lakes and rivers. Infiltration. It refers to the part of the rainwater that steps into the soil and recharges groundwater streams. The parts in which the urban water cycle is divided are supply, purification, distribution, consumption, sewer treatment, and discharge. Nearly 97% of the water on our planet is in the oceans, which are large bodies of water stored in depressions of the Earth's crust. Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean, Antarctic Ocean. The seas penetrate continental coastlines, forming bays, gulfs, coves, fjords. Characteristic: the color of the sea water is usually blue. It usually has a higher density than fresh due to dissolved substances in the salinity.
Still, if the hydrosphere doesn't seem like a really big topic, it shows us some interesting information, like how water distributes on Earth and its process from being evaporated to the rain, and then it searching away through dirt and going through rivers all the way to the ocean.
Topic 7. Geographic elements determine the establishment and development of societies. A society that gets on an area of desert climate and terrain will find a certain wildlife and particular renewable or not renewable resources that will lead its development in a very different way than a society that prefers to settle in a coastal region. Anthropology helps us to see the evolution of the human being both biologically and culturally, its religion, language, or traditions. Demography helps us to understand the characteristics of society. History helps us to know which events occurred to our ancestors. Economy studies the products and services that meet our needs, such as technology consumption. Political sciences analyzes the power of certain social groups for making decisions and achieving their goals. Population geography. It is responsible for studying and understanding human population It processes structure, dimension, and trade patterns. It also sees how demographic factors like the birth rate, mortality rate, infant mortality rate, population growth rate, fertility rate, human sex rate, literacy, life expectancy. Political geography. Political geography is a branch of applied geography whose applied study provides important data in order to find out the reasons for a society to settle in a particular location, the given economic activities they develop of or they trading and exchange with other societies.
So this topic shows us different branches of geography that are really important for different researches and to control our societies.
Topic 8. Branches of ecology. Synecology, autoecology, population ecology, and the ecosystem ecology. Biotic factors. Are any living components in an ecosystem that affect organisms in relationships like competition, commensalism, parasitism, predation, and mutualism? All living organisms found in the environment and having any kind of exchange with others are included in the biotic factors. For example, plants, animals, fungi, protozoa, and bacteria. All living organisms can be classified according to the energy pathways as follows. Autotrope. Heterotrope are decomposers. The autotrophs are those that produce their own food. Heterotrophs, they are so-called consumers, as they do not have the ability to produce their own food and therefore consume those who are the producers. Decomposers are they that destroy other organisms that were once alive and return chemical elements to the soil. Abiotic factors refer to the physical and chemical conditions in the environment such as climate, temperature, salinity of water, minerals in the soil. Those are carbon dioxide, soil, water, and atmosphere, and the solar energy.
In topic 8, we can see different kind of organisms which keep a balance in an ecosystem. We can also see how this topic branches in different studies, so it can cover every single one of these topics.
Topic 9. The population ecology. The first thing we need to understand is that population means a group of organisms of the same species occupying a given area and performing genetic exchange. A population may be affected by factors such as food availability or quality, habitat change, and other factors. The emerging properties are these features which actually distinguish between populations. Some of these properties are size, the number of organisms that make up a population, density, describes how close individuals are with each other, the number of organisms per unit of area or volume. It is a measure of the strength of competition for resources between organisms. Distribution pattern refers to the order that a population organism can take, aggregated when populations form groups such as lions, zebras, wolves. Random. These ones are like taking and distributed on a territory, like with no order. The uniform, this pattern is regular and it occurs on areas of crops. The demographic parameters, these are parameters that lead to numerical changes in populations. The first one is the birth rate, that means how many individuals are born. The mortality rate is the number of individuals who die in a given time. Immigration rate, the individuals that enter into the population, and the emigration rate, that means the ones who leave the population. And these ones are useful for calculating the population growth rate and the population structure. The factors that regulate the population growth are the abiotic factors, the biotic factors, and the abiotic factors are classified as follows. Competition occurs when the organisms that acquire the same resources which are limited. Predation is an organism that feeds another. Mutuality, organisms of different species benefit mutually when interacting. Amensalism, one member is affected negatively, for example, plants that feed on others. Commensalism, one species is benefited in some ways, such as remoras that live around sharks, feeding on the scraps and leaves it as a transport. And that's pretty much it, the summary of the topic 9.
Topic 9 shows us some interesting factors of population, and it is important to know them because then in that way we know how it keeps its balance and how they interact in the system they are in and also between each other.
Topic 10. The community ecology. The first thing we need to understand is that a community are a set of population of different species that interact and share a common point in space that is called an habitat. An habitat is a place of appropriate conditions for life of an organism, plant or animal species or communities. The communities are classified into biomes, which is defined as an ecological community which dominates a certain ecosystem. These communities have different emergent properties, such as species richness, that means the amount or the number of species forming a community. The composition is the set of species that make up the community. And the structure that refers to the way a community is organized. Succession dynamics. Ecologists recognize that nature is dynamic. That's why they refer to the term successional dynamics as changes occurring in the structure of communities over time. This sequence starts with a disturbance. This damage or event kills the organisms in a community. This disturbance can be caused by natural phenomena such as earthquakes, hurricanes, volcanic eruptions, etc. Or they can be associated with human activities. When the disturbance is severe and communities and even the soil disappear, it is called primary succession. A tsunami or volcanic eruptions are good examples of this. When the disturbance is less intense, does not remove all the soil, organisms, and maintains many of its properties, favoring plant regeneration, it is called secondary succession. For example, a forest fire or flood. The ecological restoration is defined as a series of actions to recover all or part of the structure or functioning of damaged community. And that's pretty much it. That's a summary of the topic 9. Topic 10.
So topic 10 is about communities and how they interact with their ecosystems. And how ecosystems are made just correctly for the communities living inside them. Thank you for watching this long video and wish you good luck. Thank you.